Hello, what's up, guys? And thanks for tuning in and welcome to yet another weekly crypto market update. This is Set of Saturday, and as always, I am here with Zero Cool. How are you?
Hello. Not too bad, not too bad. Surviving the dip.
Surviving the dip, and it's not easy in crypto. So you'll see today I'm going to go over a lot of things like always, but even if you know everything, if you know all the data, it's not easy. So at the moment, it's super difficult in crypto. To be in crypto is difficult. So, but yeah. So what I'm going to talk about today is, as always, macro to understand Bitcoin's price movements. Of course, later in the stream, TA with Zero Cool, we're going to do Bitcoin, we're going to do gold versus Bitcoin, and we're going to do Ethereum. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about Ethereum, and then, of course, like I said, we're going to talk about gold because gold is, in my opinion, one of the most important things at the moment in Bitcoin, next to, of course, the Trump and China tariffs. So we're going to dive right into that. So as I say here, China says we'll fight to the end in US trade war. And of course, this is the reason we dropped last week, and this is the reason we dropped a couple of days ago again. So what happens, like always, what I want to say is like last week, of course, everyone knew that the reason we dropped, well, the first domino was, of course, the tensions between the US and China. And so Trump put 100% tariffs on China. He did the taco, like we talked on the stream. So we were saying on stream, is he going to taco? Is he not going to taco? He did 2 days later. But then, and now that this is the thing, China was not happy. So everyone thought, okay, the markets are going to relieve early, the markets are going to go up. But the thing is, China didn't take this lightly. And China said that the US launched a global trade war, and that here, as you can see on the screen, that they're going to fight till the end. This is the reason why the markets are dropping. This is the reason why there's a lot of uncertainty. This is the reason Bitcoin is not going up. So how is this going to evolve? How is this going to go? Everyone knows we're talking about this week after week. Trump, you can just read his book. Actually, I might have to buy it to to understand the markets better, the art of the deal. So he's doing something extreme to find common ground in the middle and to have a better negotiation position. That's what he always does. That's what he's doing at the moment, in my opinion. So, but the thing was, I got here on the next slide, and this is the reason we saw the relief rally yesterday. So there was a Fox News interview with Trump, and they asked him if the China tariffs will keep standing or not, and he said no, which is a good thing. And this actually marked the bottom. We see Rage Jedi in chat. He says, GM fam, GM everyone, welcome to the stream. So Trump said, no, the tariffs are not going to stand. But then, of course, they will talk to Xi of China. And he confirmed as well on the Fox News interview that the meeting with Xi in 2 weeks will still stand. They will still meet. And that's where it all will happen. So at the moment, what's happening is they both trying to take the upside in the negotiation. That's why they're throwing tariffs around. Of course, that's not good for the markets, uncertainty and everything. But like you said, Zero Cool, we need to wait on this. You said this last week. We need to wait on this to have more confirmation, because that's at the moment, like I said, this is the only thing that the stocks are trading on at the moment. And then, of course, for Bitcoin, you can look a little bit at gold.
Yeah, and don't forget, we've all said this, it was China buying up all the gold, right? They've been accelerating their buying, just like Trump joked that he's going to use crypto to get rid of his debt.
Got it for a little bit later. I can look.
Perfect. Yeah.
You can go ahead what you want.
China's doing the exact same with gold. They're just pumping. Well, they're not pumping gold. They're mass hoarding gold. I'm sure you've all seen the screenshots going around on crypto Twitter of the lines outside of the gold bullion offices and trade offices where people are lining up to buy physical gold. This is something you see during a war, honestly, where people flee to hard assets like gold. And as far as I'm aware, there's no war going on, so it's a little unsettling to see, honestly.
Yep. So, and then the other thing, of course, as always, where you can look at is global liquidity. So at the moment, global liquidity is still going up, but in my opinion, it's not looking that good. And why I say this is because of the Fed liquidity, which I'm going to go over a little bit later. But so global liquidity, as everyone knows, like I said last week, the top is going to be in January 2026. And so this week, global liquidity edged to a new all-time high of 185 trillion US dollars. So Also, an important thing you guys need to understand is, okay, it's at $185 billion US, but it went only a tiny percentage up. And so what I wanted to say about this is not at the absolute level you need to look, but at the rate of change. So by how much percentage it goes up. And at the moment, it's not by much. Because I've read last week an article from Michael Howell, and so he revised his numbers by. So what he said now is that if global liquidity goes up by 1%, Bitcoin will go up by 2%. So, and if you take this into calculation, yeah, it's not looking that great for Bitcoin just by looking at global liquidity. And the reason is just that there is no Fed liquidity. The only thing which is helping is, and I posted it in Discord this morning, is the PBOC liquidity. So the PBOC, China, only this last year they printed 1 trillion. They printed 1 trillion, not dollars, but yuan into the system. But no, it's 1 trillion equal in dollars, but they printed yuan, of course. That's what I wanted to say. They printed this the last 12 months, so which is a lot. And of course, as Michael always says, if there is liquidity somewhere, it has to go. If there's liquidity anywhere, it has to go somewhere. So meaning, of course, this will spill over to Bitcoin and US equities as well. But obviously, initially, it's better for Chinese equities. That's why I posted this morning in the Discord. If Chinese liquidity is going up, the best thing you can do is buy the Shanghai index or buy gold. And this is one of the reasons. Also, there are a lot of other reasons as well, but this is one of the reasons that gold is going up, because Chinese liquidity is good for commodities, US liquidity is good for equities. And at the moment, that's a problem. So at the moment, there is almost no Fed liquidity. So as we all know, we're still in quantitative tightening. The Fed is taking liquidity out of the system. And this is not good. And actually, according to Michael Howell from Cross Border Capital, I got it right here. He thinks, so over the next 6 months, we will see liquidity going down by 10%, which is crazy. So if, according to his projection, this will happen, this will certainly not be good for the S&P, and then also will not be good for Bitcoin. But, and so maybe I can read it for you guys. So the reason why his projection is showing that it goes down, well, of course, we're still in QT. And the second thing is, there is the balance sheet, QT. They are rebuilding the Treasury General accounts, and of course, the emptying of the reverse repo, which is already near zero. And so it's not looking good for Fed liquidity. The only thing, and that's the reason why I show this today, is that Powell said in his last meeting, I think it was 3 days ago, that he signaled the central bank may stop shrinking its balance sheet in the coming months, an important shift necessary to preserve liquidity in overnight funding markets. So this is good. Powell said this as well in his latest article this morning, I think, or even yesterday. So what he said was, okay, his projection shows minus 10%, but let's say if the Fed stops QT as soon as possible, this will be good. It will not make Fed liquidity go up, but it will halten the 10% drop. So which will be fine for Bitcoin then. So if we have PBOC liquidity going up, and if we have Fed liquidity just being neutral, this would already help.
This is already showing up. I'm not 100% into the macro, as I've said before. I come from crypto. It's influenced by macro. I'm still learning. Infronomics on YouTube is a great channel regarding this. He talks about this almost daily, way more in detail with charts, and go way deeper. I think there's been some issues with the SOFR recently, which is the overnight lending rates, and little banks are having more trouble getting funds. There's also some bad loans out there, and that's causing people to spook or banks to get spooked, and it also impacts liquidity as a whole. Yeah, this thing spiked to 0.29 or something yesterday or the day before, and that spooked the markets.
Exactly. And the problem is, it's not good for retail banks. And that's also exactly one of the reasons why gold is going up, because they lose trust in smaller banks, which is why everyone is standing outside the gold bullion to buy gold, because they think all the banks will go, how can I say it?
Bust.
Bust, yeah, that was the word I'm looking for. But yeah, so when are they going to stop Q3? And I saw this very good post from Justin Enam Twitter account, but he said was that Deutsche Bank, they expected the Fed to announce QT's end in December FOMC meeting. And I didn't find the source why. So this is real, but the source is a client note and a research report that Deutsche Bank distributed to their institutional clients. So what Deutsche Bank said to their institutional clients is that they think that the Fed, based on what Powell said here, that they will announce an end to QT in the December FOMC meeting, which will be good. So let's say this happens. I'm still hopeful because everything what I'm going to talk about today is kind of bullish. I'm still leaning bullish. I know a lot of people are bearish at the moment, but it's bad that Fed liquidity is going down. So this might be one of the reasons why I would start to take profit. But I'm still hopeful that if they stop QT, that they might not be too late. I think they may be right on time. Some people think that Powell is going to be too late.
He's definitely too late. Just I'm in Trump camp with that. He should have been. If you remember our streams from like at the start of the year, we've been saying, "Oh, next meeting they're gonna cut. Oh, next meeting they're gonna cut." And that was 7-8 months ago. So and it took them like, when did they first cut? September, August. Yeah, it was like 5 months after we were.
That was way too late. That was way too late.
That was too late. So yeah,
I think Powell had some altcoins.
Maybe.
No, just joking. So next up, and so Alan Waltz asked a question. Maybe we can look at this later. But what I think the most important thing to look at for Bitcoin, like I said in the beginning of the stream, is gold. You need to look at gold, and I'm gonna pull up a tweet that I just made. This is the most important thing. I'm saying this for months in a row, every live stream. I did a live stream with George yesterday. I explained it as well. So this will be the last time I'm going to explain this, because else I will just be repeating myself week after week. So listen up. So gold and Bitcoin have a symbiotic relationship. Both hedge against monetary inflation and often react to the same drivers. Okay, gold's exponential rise is currently taking away all the liquidity from Bitcoin. And this is an important thing. So at the moment, gold is taking all the liquidity that can also go to Bitcoin. But this makes sense because at the moment, there's a lot of fear in the markets. And then you can look at it however you want, but gold is still the risk off asset and Bitcoin is still the risk on asset. So I think just by looking at the last few weeks, I think gold still won safe haven assets of choice. So that's what I said here. Gold is still providing the better safe haven asset in this uncertain economic climate. But this is actually the most bullish catalyst for Bitcoin because, like I said, they have a symbiotic relationship. So strength or attention in one can spill over to the other. Maybe I should write will, because if you look at research, if you look at history, usually this happens. Okay, it can happen, but usually this happens. The problem at the moment is that in the short term, they are negatively correlated. So a rising gold, like we see at the moment, it's an exponential rise. It's going crazy. Like Zero Cool said, they're waiting outside to buy gold, which in my opinion is a top signal. But usually this goes in a drop, and I showed this last week as well. Usually 4 to 6 weeks later, which we are currently seeing, it's dropping. So in history, based on history, always when gold goes up, 4 to 6 weeks later, Bitcoin goes down. You can see it on this chart as well. When Bitcoin or gold goes up, the other one goes down. It's always like this in history. They take liquidity from each other. It's normal. But, and then you need to look at my next week. So what happens is research shows that over the long term, there is a lag of usually 3 to 6 months. So usually, then the money will flow to Bitcoin. And we were talking about this last week as well. But gold's market cap is about 14 times Bitcoin's market cap. So even if just a tiny percentage of the gold market cap will go to Bitcoin, I think this will start the exponential rise for Bitcoin as well.
It's true. There's one catalyst that, like we talked about last year, someone blew up. There's some firm, some hedge fund firm or market maker blew up. And I read an interesting tweet yesterday saying that they're still unwinding their books. So to get balance in their books, they need to unload their positions, which is currently causing the market to be like stagnant and not bouncing like gold is flowing, going up, or the stocks are going up. It's being suppressed by a big player unloading their long positions, meaning selling or closing their longs, which is sell pressure, and that's causing this to be stagnant. The tweet also said that it could take weeks/months to happen. Kind of like when we had the FTX nuke, it took 3-4 months to like get fully through this. So
I have a good chart on this as well for a bit later. That you can. I'll talk about it later. So about gold. So what are the reasons gold is going up? And of course, I showed this picture in the beginning of the stream. China is buying insane levels of gold. So the Central Bank of China is buying enormous amounts of gold, but China is not the only country. For example, there's also Poland, and Poland's gold reserves are at the moment higher than the EU Central Bank's gold reserves, which is crazy. So there are also other countries buying up gold, but as you can see, central banks are buying, which is good. We talked about the interest rates are going down, which is also good for gold because that devalues the dollar. We spoke about it as well. There's regional bank credit stress. We're still in a US government shutdown. There is this US and China trade war escalation. So there's a lot of things happening which are good for gold, which are good for safe haven assets. And like I said, if you like it or not, gold is still a better safe haven asset than Bitcoin. And that's why we see the rise. But, and I'm going to say this for the last time now, they have a symbiotic relationship. So if one goes up, it's good for the other. And I think, just like I said, even if a tiny percentage of gold will go into Bitcoin, that will be good for Bitcoin. I don't know if it will be good for your favorite altcoin, but I think it will be good for Bitcoin.
Can you share my screen quickly?
Yeah.
This is Canada's gold reserves. It's been pretty flat at 0 gold since 2016. Just saying that like, there's countries buying Bitcoin, not everybody's buying gold. Not everybody is buying gold. So it hasn't. Canada hasn't got the memo yet that they need to have gold. I just thought it was funny, like seeing Poland and China mass ape into gold, and then you have like Canada being like, "Dude, what? No, we're not doing this." Yeah,
I don't think
funny.
Canada is a player in the. How can I say it? The world, the world domination that China and the US are fighting for.
No, but the impact, like the policies in America, directly impact policies in Canada. It has been for a long time. If America changes something, and it's not even need to be tariff related, it has a direct impact on the policy in Canada, and they not always one-on-one follow, but it surely has a big impact on it. So I think this is a very interesting statistics in the topic we talk about. Like someone like Canada having 0 gold is, I mean, I have more gold than Canada, which is funny.
Okay. Also, cool thing is, you can look this up on my screen, and maybe first a question that Alan Watts. So he's saying, where is next resistance for gold? So maybe after this, Circle, if you want, you can also chart gold and also gold versus Bitcoin. And then he's saying, could it be the moment money will stop flowing to gold and move to Bitcoin instead? And that's exactly what I'm thinking. Me, myself, for my personal trading account, 2 days ago, I sold all my gold and I rotated it to Bitcoin. So I think it's a very good time to rotate your gold to Bitcoin. I think a lot of big players will do this. And just by the big players doing this, Bitcoin will already go up. So even if you don't have gold, just by the big players going from gold rotating to Bitcoin will already be good for Bitcoin. So based on this, you can know that Bitcoin is not going to crash, in my opinion. Also, so looking at the screen, usually based on history, this is the biggest amount of weeks in a row that gold went up. So apparently 9 weeks in a row is the maximum for gold going up. Usually always a day or 2 days later, it's going down afterwards. And we see this happening as well. I think gold at the moment is going down a little bit. You posted something in Discord, but apparently it was fake that They found 10% of new supply in Africa.
Yeah, it was a meme, but the concept still stands, and that's why Bitcoin is infinitely better as a currency than gold. You can always fake and make more gold. You can find gold. Asteroid mining was a topic not too long ago, a couple of years ago. Like, we'll go into space and mine asteroids which could have gold and other rare earths, rare materials. You cannot do that with Bitcoin. It's 21 million. It will always be 21 million. And where for gold you can print gold, there's have been probably like 2 or 3 million Bitcoin lost forever. People who lost their keys. A guy in UK dumpster diving for his hard drive with 100,000 Bitcoins on it. Bitcoin supply is only going down by stupidity of humanity, while gold's the other way around. There will always be more gold. They're mining more gold. They'll find more gold. If not on Earth, they'll go find it in space.
That's true. So yeah, maybe you can go over to your screen and you can chart gold. So first of all, like Alan what's asked, so where is the next resistance for gold?
Well, I'll zoom out. This is 4 hour. We're in price discovery. The thing that I wanted to show first is that we're doing this little hyperbolic move up, which broke down on the 4 hour. Not a signal, but if I see this type of movement in crypto and it breaks the curve, the hyperbolic curve up, that's usually a sign that it has stopped. Where's the top on gold? It's very hard, right? Let's zoom out. Let's go to a monthly chart. This is in price discovery. The sky's the limit. When you break into price discovery, it's very hard to put a top on.
You can use Fibonacci extensions.
I was gonna just click them. You can do that in crypto. I actually don't know if that works in commodities. Let me turn off the top to bottom here. Already past the
you need to add more.
Let's turn on the force. Let's see what we're at. We're close to 4, I guess, but still. The longer the base, because this is already in months, the longer the consolidation, which is this bad boy here, the higher it goes, right? And same with this, the longer the consolidation, the higher this goes.
Like you said, it can go to infinity, but over the long run, I think in the short term, after such a move, it has to take a breather. And as you can see on my chart that I just showed, usually 9 weeks later is like the inflection point. So I don't know. That's why I sold some.
It's very hard to get a top on this, to be honest, because the demand is so high, and it's they're already in the state where in the end game of Bitcoin, where we said Bitcoin will go to $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 when nation states start to buy. China's hoarding gold. That's a nation state hoarding, buying stuff, right? So if we see that in Bitcoin, then we'll see our $1 million Bitcoin, and it's what's happening in gold. It's a big driver of it. And to do some TA on this, what I found, like commodities and stocks have way more plain TA. You don't need to smack on super hard indicators. Just draw some meme lines, right? This was your consolidation. If it pulls back, first area of interest, and this is quite a drop from here to like this area is 50%. I don't think it will drop 50%, but I also wouldn't short this, right? This is the bull run that everybody in crypto wants. You don't short this. You can take profit. You can hedge your bets. You buy spots and then short. But I would not naked short this ever. It's like running in front of a train. The train can maybe stop in time because it's arriving at the station, or it can skip the station and just run you over. Don't jump in front of this. Yeah, very hard to TA on, honestly.
Can you then check also the Bitcoin gold chart? So to maybe see if rotation can.
This was the last base of consolidation from April until August, and probably peaked on the day that we had a big correction in April and the stock market started to rally. This would be the 2 levels I'd play. Next one, Bitcoin and gold. Share this screen. This one's way more interesting. I believe the first one was this around like 30 ratio. Let's put it on the 4-hour. Personally, I swapped all my golds into Bitcoin here. I thought it was a genius because I thought I hit the exact bottom. Alas, it was not the bottom. But this is the first support resistance line that I'm looking at. And then the second one, you've got that low here that got swiped. And for targets, it's up here in the 40s, honestly. But again, this is a very interesting chart, right? There's not that much data in because Bitcoin is not that old. But again, you have that so a little meme trend line, I believe, going here. If you zoom in a little, the meme trend line, we can see here, like it respected it. So there's a little less meme in the meme trend line. But for me here, it's like this kind of has to be the bottom. And that's why you've also rotated out because otherwise this goes deep, very deep.
I think there's I saw some charts on Twitter that there's a big ascending triangle going, but on a bigger time frame. On the weekly, you see it?
Like this.
And
this is
you
your
can you can go more to the.
Oh, I think I see it. It's just
yeah.
That's already broke out. So
yeah.
Wait, like this. This makes more sense. This is your ascending triangle.
Yeah.
We get a little fake out. We love the little fake outs. Again, here, little fake outs. Retest.
So this might be bullish.
Yep, I can definitely see this. Then it goes here. First object is clear this 32. Consolidate a little bit, and then probably like a first rejection, and then a high volume breakout, right? But this is a very interesting chart because you're not denominating it in dollars, you're denominated in gold. And while America has quote unquote power over the dollar because it's the world's reserve currency, gold is much easier to move than the dollar. And I think China is showing that. So very interesting chart. Yeah, that's the goal, right? Like I said, already swapped most of my gold that I hold in equities around. I'll have like a little bit of physical gold laying around, but that's just put it in the safe and keep until you die type stuff, just like next to your Bitcoin ledgers. Yeah, I think if you not a bad point to swap from gold into Bitcoin, and then first target is like around 40. This resistance around 35 and then into the 40s, and that's quite a change already, right? It's like 60%. It's not.
That's my hopium I wanted to give to all the viewers today.
Yeah, and that's Bitcoin gold, I think.
All right, so I want to show now the chart that I talked about. So usually, and this one is also for Chris because Chris was asking this week as well, after a liquidation, where does Bitcoin go to? And according to this chart, post a 10% liquidation, usually, well, so the first 30 days, there is a big consolidation and the price is neutral or even goes down. But then after 30 days, after a big liquidation candle, Bitcoin usually goes up. And what were you talking about a couple of minutes ago? Because this is kind of what you were talking about, right?
That it takes time for a market maker or a hedge fund that blows up to unwind their books because they still have like a market maker or a hedge fund will never have like a naked position long or a naked position short. They'll always be hedged. If they blow up one side, they need to unwind the other side. And unwinding the other side takes time because they cannot market dump millions and millions of contracts, right? Or they just cause another candle. They have to slowly unwind.
Maybe that plays parts, which you can see in this chart. Maybe someone blew up, which is quite likely. This takes some time, 30 days. There's also a lot of bad sentiment around crypto at the moment. I think that also takes about 30 days to resolve. So I think it would be normal in October to just consolidate. Sentiment needs to be better. The skeletons need to come out of the closet. And I think afterwards we're still in for a bullish Q4, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm a very big. I'm not a big believer of seasonality. I am a big believer of the Santa rally. I think 2 weeks ago, I guess, yeah, the last 3 quarters in the year are usually very positive for crypto.
You can see, I've got it open, so you can see it here on the chart. So this is all the Bitcoin bull markets. This is basically the seasonality. At the moment, we're here at the rose line, and usually starting now, it should go up. Actually, you showed me something on TradingView. I can open it here on this chart. Maybe pull it a bit like this. And actually, TradingView has a very nice feature, which you can see here. Like Zero Cool said, there's a Santa rally. So always around December, Bitcoin is making that parabolic move we always saw. So this is data from 2020 to 2025. Maybe if I can do it for the, let's see. Oof, okay, I get why they started in 2020. But it's the same. So usually it always goes up around November and December. Maybe if I can make a table of it. This is basically, yeah. And then you as you can see here, normally that's why everyone speaks about October. Usually October is bullish. Okay, maybe this time is different. Maybe this time October is not bullish, but I'm still hopeful for a bullish Q4, like a bullish Santa rally that Zero Cool is talking about. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a big believer of the like I said, of the Santa rally, and liquidity slushes around. Michael Howell indicating that liquidity is slowing down, or increases slowing down. So it has to come from another big player, which is gold, and we've seen that gold has.
Yeah.
That's basically what we've been talking about for the last half hour. That gold's going up. It flows slowly into crypto. There's a lag of 6 to 12 weeks, 9 to 12 weeks.
In gold, 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. Months?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was weeks. I could be wrong. Maybe I should pay attention when we're watching the stream. No, I'm just kidding. There's a lag on it, and it lines up.
The 3 to 6 week that I said is the time that it goes down. That they're inversely correlated.
Inversely correlated. Okay. Yeah, that's maybe something that I can show quickly if I throw on a Bitcoin chart, and then I add a gold chart. Gold new price scale. This is a bad one. I put gold from BitMEX getaway here, Andrew Hayes. There we go, new price scale. What did I want to show last time? That gold topped over here. So our blue is gold. It topped August 2020 around $2,000. It went down. Where did Bitcoin start this massive Santa rally? Exactly here, right?
Yep.
This is a perfect example, and this is pre-ETFs, pre-Trump administration. I messed up the blue line. There we go. Pre the big players, this is purely hedge funds and private investors and billionaires and millionaires playing around with commodities, so it's amplified, but the standpoint is the same. This is your rotation we've been talking about. Gold slowly down, Bitcoin exponentially up.
Watch out, we're maybe making Chris too bullish.
He said he was short silver, so maybe it's time, who knows.
But that's the thing that you also said last week on the live stream, that there is the cascading effect. Like you have Bitcoin spills over to altcoins, large caps, small caps, and everything. So we have the same here. It doesn't always start with global liquidity. For example, now what we see and what I think we're going to see is, so it's starting, and I can maybe show my screen. So this is a small summary. So it's starting, like I said, with PBOC liquidity. So there's 1 trillion yuan into the markets in dollars, which spills over to commodities, so to gold. And then the extra liquidity in gold will spill over to Bitcoin. So this is also the rotation chart like we're used to, but it's a little bit different. So sometimes
Or a
you have
macro level.
Fed liquidity going into the S&P or immediately to Bitcoin. But now, okay, no, the liquidity is not coming from the US, the liquidity is coming to China. Okay, how does this go? And it usually goes like this. So that's why I'm still bullish for Bitcoin, even though Fed liquidity is not looking good.
One big note is that the flow and the rate of flow is different in the US than China, right? China has a way more anti-crypto stance, quote unquote. They're not anti-crypto, but they're not pro-crypto like the US is recently. So if you would print $1 trillion in America compared to China, the rate and how this flows into Bitcoin is immensely different.
Will be much faster. Then you will see immediately Bitcoin going up. But now it takes some time. Like I said in the beginning, if there's liquidity somewhere, it will end up. If there's liquidity anywhere, it will. Yeah. So that's the thing. So it will eventually find its way to Bitcoin, but it will take a little bit longer. And that's why I'm still bullish. That's why I think we're gonna go a bit longer this cycle. But yeah, Zero Cool, maybe you can chart some Bitcoin.
Yeah, a very good way, by the way. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I saw some questions from Rage Jedi. Maybe if you, because he's still bearish.
The divergence will start there. What I wanted to say is the price now for Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. You need to see this as an opportunity that you can buy Bitcoin for a lower price. If you start thinking, instead of thinking days, weeks, and months, and start thinking years and decades, you should be grateful that we can buy Bitcoin at 107,000, because I know it, you know it, the audience knows it. We all believe that it's going to go up exponentially over the 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And how do you, like, you want to make sure you can retire, your family around you can retire, even if you get lucky and you do it well, your friends can retire based on your Bitcoin holdings. Lower prices now is just a blessing for in 20, 30, 40 years. And I think that's how you should approach crypto. You need to see it as a retirement vehicle for in next decades. And sure, yeah, the price dropped 10, 20%.
It's funny that you say that. That's like everyone is always saying this when Bitcoin is dropping 10, 20%, everyone is saying, yeah, but you need to look at it on a 20, 30 time scale. Don't worry about it.
but yeah, if you buy Bitcoin at 107,000 or at 90,000, or I'm gonna go to another. I'll go to Coinbase, a little bit less messier. But yeah, if you buy it at 100,000 or at 70 or 60,000, it's not gonna matter that much. Okay, 50% drop is gonna matter, but other than that, no. But yeah, you're right. It's the bullish sentiment setting in when the price action is bearish, I guess. Let's go to those diversions that the chat talked about, right? So we swap on the RSI. We'll start on a higher time frame. The divergence he is talking about is that your price made a higher high. So we had some weekly closes here, weekly close here. This close is higher than this close, but your RSI, it's your strength index, is lower. So this is a bearish divergence on a higher time frame. You can do that on the daily as well, and you can see ish. It's not the same, it's not as pronounced, but it's still there. This is down, and that is up. It's your first divergence. This is a bullish divergence, I guess. And then here again, this is also a this isn't the divergence. This is just higher price with higher RSI. So on the lower time frame you go, the less bearish it gets. But on a weekly time frame, yeah, it's there, and that's indeed how tops are formed. It's part of it, right? It's an indicator. You cannot solely trade on RSI. Yeah. I mean, you can, but it's not the whole picture. It's like 5% of your picture, and then saying, look, it's right. Yeah, sure, it's right because it's 5% of the picture, and it happens to be right. But it's a divergence he's talking about. I'm not too fussed about it, honestly. For me, last week we talked about the weekly close, and I think if I heard George right on your stream yesterday, a close below this, the 112 level weekly close. Last week we talked about the wick going below it but closing above it is for me not a bearish invalidation. Actually, I was wrong. It was this close here. It's 108. So we wicked below, closed above high. Now we're looking to close around or below it. That is pretty bearish, yes. This is indeed a bearish invalidation of this bullish structure going up. And I think George said plus or minus the same in his stream, not 100% sure. But yeah, that's your bearish invalidation that Chris is talking about on a higher time frame. And you had some swing point failures up here. I think this was one, and then this is one where you swing above, but it fails to hold and it cracks down. And that's usually a way to like intraday trade on a lower time frame where you have this. It's a very toppy signal. As you can see, once it closed down, it went down 8%. Once it closed down, it went down 15%. As for now, week isn't done yet, so we still have some hope. But yeah, like I say every week, we play level to level. Right? I've been drawing these levels since 2025. This is your middle. We had the new level. This is your middle, and this is just very loose-handed. If you draw correct lines, you'll see this lines up more, but we reject it around the middle here. And now we're back at the bottom-ish of the range. This is still supports. I think I tweeted not too long ago that my gut says that we topped and that we're going down, but in a full bull market, you don't get the dips you want. Well, I think I tweeted this over here. I think this is the dip you want and you should buy it. You can wait.
Two very nice charts from Julien Bittel that shows that Bitcoin is actually at a very good support level. If you're finished with your part, I can show them. Yeah. So this is still the Bitcoin chart. And this is from Julien Bittel, like I said, from Real Vision. And so what he's showing is that Bitcoin is forming another broadening wedge, which is typically a bullish setup. So I don't know what you think about this.
Well, my first thing that pops in mind, he's charting on the Bloomberg terminal instead of TradingView. Bloomberg terminal is like 20,000 a year at least. So he's just showing off at this point. But yeah, this is more a wide-eyed micro view over months/years and not daily or intraday like I was showing. But yeah, this is bullish, sure.
That's why I wanted to show this, that that the cycle is not finished, that we're still on a long-term time frame macro support actually, which is why you said we're at the support, and I think this support is a very good buy level. His next
thing. Yeah. Oh, sorry. One more thing to add to this. It's very important to understand that you can draw lines on any charts, and it can validate your thesis regardless of how wrong it is. You can have the most bearish charts in history. You will be able to draw lines that support a bullish thesis. Other way around, you can have the most bullish chart in history. Let's for example say Bitcoin, and you can draw those swing point failures and saying, "Oh, this is bearish." So lines on the charts, they just add stuff. And there's famous quotes about TA being absolute garbage. That's more pointing towards this. These are just lines.
That's a very good point as well, because you can always find something that aligns with your narrative, and you always search what you want to find. So, and that's why I think our Discord is very good, because we have bearish people in Discord, we have bullish people in Discord. Everyone is showing their thesis, and we have conversations about it. And that's what you should do as an investor. If everyone would have been bullish, and that's also a problem with algorithms. For example, on Twitter algorithm, if you're bullish, you will only see bullish things, and that's why you think everyone is bullish, and that's not good. You need someone to invalidate your thesis. So yeah, that's why I like our Discord. Yep. That's
Twitter is an echo chamber, especially if you're on crypto Twitter, CT. But if you go to politics, which I don't really like to do, especially not on this stream, but Twitter is more an echo chamber of right-wing politics, while Blue Sky is more an echo chamber of left-wing politics, right? So You need to watch out. You cannot blindly follow your 5 calls who are all bullish, because they have incentive to be bullish. They make money off you.
The next chart I wanted to show you, and which also shows we're still in a long-term bullish uptrend, is this one. So this is a long-term logarithmic regression channel, and so this shows we're at the bottom. We're at the support actually. So and that's what I meant. What I said last week by we still haven't broken macro support yet, and I think this logarithmic regression channel shows that we're still in a bull market.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 2 good charts again. Using Bloomberg terminal is just showing off 2 charts, honestly, because I don't think I've seen much TA on the Bloomberg terminal. And I don't also, very big side note, I don't think that people understand how advanced the Bloomberg terminal is. Like, people meme on crypto Twitter, oh, they're using it to sell assets. Like, you can list anything on there. So let's say I want to sell my Porsche, you can list that on Bloomberg terminal. But the in-depth data you can gather with Bloomberg terminal is absolutely insane. Like, for example, freight, like travel by water. If you want to move something from one continent to the other continent, you can live follow freight ships, click on them, see who owns them, what their statistics are on every single possible thing you can ever think about. It is absolutely bonkers. And that's why it's 20K a year. And now let's continue.
Yeah, so no, this was the part about Bitcoin actually. So that's why I said in the beginning of the stream, it's not easy. So we have all the data, we look at all the data, and it's difficult to form an opinion because, like I said, Fed liquidity is not doing good, but PBC liquidity is going good, which is why gold is going good, which should flow into Bitcoin. It's difficult. So let's now go over to Ethereum.
Yeah, quickly, because we're already running 46-ish minutes, while we usually tend to aim for 30 minutes. So let's speedrun this.
Ethereum is actually more bullish in my opinion, because as you can see here, so the Huobi founder Li Lin to lead 1 billion Ethereum treasury firm. So a lot of debts are starting to form around Ethereum, which is super bullish. The next thing I wanted to show as well is this. And actually, at the moment, the Ethereum ETFs drew more inflows than Bitcoin. So this is the first time ever this happened, which shows that institutional demand for Ethereum is growing stronger. So with this, with the ETFs moving higher, so I think Ethereum is still very good positioned for the bull run.
For a better run than Bitcoin.
Money, yeah, maybe, because all the debts will buy Ethereum, which you can at the moment not see in price, but this may be because, as you said, a large player is winding down, which is selling, but at the same time, we got a lot of buyers, and you can just see this in the Ethereum ETFs. And also, I think the staking ETFs are very close. Almost everyone forgot, I think.
Something I mentioned, the government shut down, so they cannot approve new ETFs. The SEC cannot say you can go live with it. Although I did see Solana ETF being approved yesterday for staking, so there was maybe it was not an ETF, but an ETN. Again, so much acronyms, it's hard to keep track of it.
Can you do Ethereum TA real quick? So
yeah, I got my chart here.
I also see Jay Armo is in chat. Welcome, Jay Armo.
Ranges are
having a great Saturday. Sorry.
No problem. Ranges are a little bit less pronounced here. Fake out, fake outs. We got back into like the middle of the range, didn't even reach it. And now we're below. Next obvious target is this low, and then we get into this big range here. And I think I said, we also had a like mini range here. I think I said I am a big buyer of Ethereum below 3,000 if we ever get there. Ethereum to 3,000 or even lower is Bitcoin to 90,000 or even lower. For Bitcoin, I'll be a buyer below 86,000 into 64,000, I think. Again, prices that I don't expect to see, but as said last time on stream, you need to have a plan and you need to write, if you draw your boxes and you say, oh, I'm interested in buying here, write down why you want to buy here. Because if we do another minus 30% candle on Bitcoin, the last thing you'll instinctively want to do is buy Bitcoin. But then you see your box, you see your notes, you've written down your thoughts, and you're like, you're right. That's why I thought that. That's why the box is here. I should buy. And that helps you with buying when we have a nuke, like a 30% nuke. Let's hope there's no 30% nuke, but that's why you put your alarms, put your boxes, put your notes. And that's a very quick and dirty TA on Ethereum. It looks worse than Bitcoin. Any altcoin looks worse as Bitcoin. If Bitcoin rolls over and goes for those lows, that we're going lower, and I think this wick gets filled completely at least.
Yeah, altcoins are a very, very difficult position at the moment. I think, me personally, I'm going to DCA out of them in December. So I hope we will see the November, December small bull run, but then I'm not going to hold them too long. I don't want to keep holding the bag. I still believe in Bitcoin. I think the bear market, if there will be a harsh bear market, will be way, way less than we're used to. So I think I'm fairly confident at the moment of just riding Bitcoin through the bear market, but not altcoins.
Yeah, I'm quickly making up a new charts. We've been waiting for an altcoin alt season. The alt season has already happened. It's just not in crypto. It was in nuclear stocks. I don't know if you are showing my screen.
You need to
share this tab. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So these are your altcoins on a weekly chart. Sorry, your nuclear stock on a weekly chart. I don't know if you guys can see this clearly. Maybe my indicators that are marked are not in the way, but it's up only for.
Maybe if you put out your symbols.
Yeah.
Bigger. Yeah.
This is even like on years, right? But up, 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 up. Altcoin alt season has already happened. It's just in nuclear stocks and not in crypto. And more crypto accounts are talking about it, that it is better to trade equities like this, where the next gold rush is, than crypto. And I've rotated away from crypto. Well, not away from crypto. I rotated into this, and I don't disagree. The hype is here and not in altcoins.
One last thing I want to say about altcoins before we shut off the stream is the MegaETH. So I posted this as well in Discord, and I think this is super interesting. So this is the first real-time blockchain, and I think this will go up after the ICO. So at the moment, they're doing an ICO on Sonar, which is the same kind of platform, I think, as Echo from Kobe. They did last year an ICO already on that platform at the $220 million valuation. So this time they will probably be at a higher valuation. They didn't announce it yet, but you can register. So you have 9 more days to register. To be clear, this is not a sponsored shout out or something. I did it as well with Zero Cool. So we did this as soon as it came out, but be quick with it, because like I said, there's only 9 days left, but you need to do KYC and everything. So it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, this will weed out the more farmer type people who just sign up 100 accounts to farm allocation. You might not get allocation. I might not get allocation. Jack might not get allocation, but this is what we're allocating in next in crypto land.
Yeah, and the thing is also, registering doesn't mean you need to allocate. So just register. If you look when the numbers come out, when they show what the valuation is going to be, then you can make your decision. But if you didn't register, you cannot even decide whether you want to invest or not. So just register. Let's see. I think it's a very good project. So also, this was a couple of days ago, yesterday actually, they announced that they bought back 4.75% of the supply from early investors. And this is super good. So one of the reasons why this is good is that, of course, everyone dislikes big VC funds. So what they did was they bought back tokens from the VCs, and they're gonna add this to the public still. So they're gonna bigger their community. They're gonna make a bigger community, because they're gonna unleash 4.7% of the supply more to the ICO buyers, which is this basically. So this is good, which gives us a better chance to have an allocation. But like I said, just register and yeah.
Yep. Very last thing before our predictions, we're really going to hit an hour, is the comment from Alan Watts regarding the tokenization of the dollar. It's a very interesting topic, honestly, because Trump said he was going to use crypto to roll over his debt. One of the ways to do that is tokenize the dollar so that the dollar lowers in value and that the debt that rolls over is less costly to pay for. So very short, yeah, I do think tokenization of real world assets and the dollar basically in general will reduce the demand on the dollar, making the dollar fall and therefore less costly debt.
I don't think so. I don't think his it will change too much. Why? Because and that's why they're at the moment pushing stablecoins, because they know this. They know there is going to be a lot of RWA tokenization. Stock's going to be on chain. Everything's going to be on chain. Maybe your house is going to be on chain. Your car is going to be on chain. And that's why the US is pushing stablecoins a lot. So at the moment, I showed this in my 2 videos ago, that 79% of stablecoins are in the US dollar, meaning if, like you said, RWA tokenization, is it going to reduce the demand on the US dollar? I don't think so, because every asset you buy, every tokenized asset you buy on the blockchain will be with US dollars. It will be with not with actual US dollars, but it will be with USDT. So in my opinion, it will just be the same, since the asset you buy, like you said, it will not be with USD, but it will be with USDT. So in my opinion, it will just be the same. And I think this is one of the reasons why the US is pushing stablecoins.
Okay. Let's quickly go over predictions and then call it a day. See if we can close it out in the 1 hour mark.
Charts. So it's looking where? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, of course you won. You won. So let me go back to the daily. What do you think for next week?
Winding down, still keep it at where the price is now. 108. Let's put 108. Oh, we need to watch out that the cloud doesn't flip red, by the way. Again, I'll emphasize this with predicting the price for 7 days in the future is very hard.
I have to be more bullish. Like after everything I said, I cannot put my line under your line. So I'm gonna put it at the bottom of the cloud. So yeah, that's it for me. So I hope.
Oh, give me a pointer. You didn't change my 2 to a 3.
Yeah, from 1 to 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see. My bad. Still focused on thinking where I want to put my price.
Okay, this was it. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please like the video as always, leave a comment. Also, maybe leave your thoughts, because that's also, like I said, it's super important to hear different opinions, different thoughts. If you guys are more bearish than me, just explain why, explain in the comments why. Maybe I missed something, maybe Zero Cool missed something. So we're not, how can I say it? Visionaries in a glass bowl.
We just try to give you data to make your opinions on, and we give our opinion on this data, but you can form your own opinion on your data. That's your right. And you should not copy trade us. You should look at the data, analyze it, make a framework around it, and use that, just like with your boxes and your notes on points of interest where you want to buy crypto or sell crypto. Doesn't need to be buy. For example, I have targets on my coin stock that I will like de-risk here, and then a box above it, sell 50%, with some notes why I would need to sell 50%. Because when you get euphoric and you see your portfolio go up and you're like, wow, this is up 50%, and you have that meme of, oh, it's going to do another 10x, so I'm not going to sell. You need to those thoughts and boxes to tell you why you need to sell, and then you will sell. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
It's fine. So guys, thank you very much for watching. It's Zero Cool. Thank you very much. And then we see you all next week.
Laters.
Bye, guys.